Hey guys, so welcome back to yet another video. So in this video we'll be trying to solve the 242nd Leetcode problem, that is valid anagram. Okay, so given two strings s and t, write a function to determine if t is an anagram of s. So for those of you who don't know what anagrams are, basically like they are words which has like the same alphabets just in different orders. So like say this first example, you have anagram and like nagaram, but like those two like contain the same alphabets, like just that like in the second word like the alphabets are interchanged. All right, so yeah, but for rat and car, well, like they don't have the same alphabets because c is not there in rat, right? So you're supposed to output false. And yeah, so let's see how we can solve this problem. Let's move on to the whiteboard. Okay, so now, whoops, why did this pop up? Okay, now let's say our two words like our anagram, as they mentioned, and our second word is like nagram or something, I guess. All right. Okay, now what will we do? Now we will be having a dictionary. Okay, so the first thing is we'll be having a loop looping through both of the words. So our first for loop will loop like through the first word, that is anagram in our case. Okay, now it will loop through anagram. So after looping through this, it will enter in each alphabet to the hash map. Okay, so now we know that a is not there in the hash map, so we can add a colon 1, which means that we came across a once in this word. Similarly for n, we haven't like come across n ever, so we can add n to the hash map as n colon 1 because we came across n once. Now we came across a again right over here. So now what we'll do is we'll just update the value of a to 2, all right, which means we came across a twice in this word. Then we have g, we haven't come across g, we'll also be storing g as 1. Then we haven't come across r, so we came across r once. Then a again we came across it already, so we'll just increment the value by 1. So yeah, that's it. Now we'll come across m, we haven't come across m, so we will do m colon 1. Okay, so now this is our dictionary after looping through the first word. All right, okay, now we loop through the second word, which is anagram in our case. Okay, so now what we'll do is whenever we come across any alphabet in the second word, we will minus that alphabet's value by 1 from the dictionary. So like what I mean is, now I have this dictionary right here, right? Now I came across n. So what I'll do is I'll minus 1 from the value of n. So now n has 1, but since I already came across n in the second word, I will do 1 minus 1. So it will give me 0, right? So now the value of n will be 0. All right, okay. Now I'll come across a. Now I will again minus the value of a by 1. So now a will become 2, right? All right, now a will become 2. Now we came across g. I will do the same thing for g as well. From 1, I'll put it to 1 minus 1, that is 0. Similarly for a again. So now I have to again minus the value of a by 1. So 2 minus 1 will give you 1 as the answer. All right. Now what? Now for r, 1 minus 1 will give you 0. Then we have a. Again the value of a will be 1 minus 1, which will be 0. Okay, it will be 0. And then m, right? Finally we come across m. So now even the value of m will be 0. Okay, so now as you guys can see, every value of every key in the dictionary is 0. So what that means is we came across the exact same number of alphabets in both the words, which means that these two are a valid anagram. Okay, so like now the final step is to loop through the dictionary, basically like to loop through the values of the dictionary and check if they are 0 or not. Even if one alphabet's value is not 0, it means that they are not anagrams. Okay, so like say for example in the second word I had one more a over here. So now the value of a will become 0 minus 1 and the value will be minus 1, right? So like they are not anagrams because this the second word has one a more than the first word. Okay, so like the value of every key must be 0 in the dictionary for them to be an anagram. So yeah, like that's basically it on how to solve this problem. Now let's code the whole solution out. All right, okay. Now the first thing is they can be anagrams only if they have the same length. Okay, so like that's the first requirement to keep in mind. So if length of s is not equal to length of t, I straight up know that there is no way they can be an anagram, right? Because they have different lengths. I can just return false. Return false. All right, okay. Now what? Now I'll be having a hash map, okay, for my elements. So I'll loop through the first word for I in range length of s. All right, okay. Now if si in hash map, which basically means if it already exists, then I can just increment the value by 1, right? So hash map s of I plus equal to 1. Now if it is not there in the hash map, I am supposed to add the value. So I can just put s of I is equal to 1. Okay. Now I will do the same thing for the second word, just that I will be minusing each value by 1 from the dictionary. Okay, for I in range length of t. Okay, now I will do okay, now if ti in hash map. Now we are doing this because like in case the second word contains some alphabet which is not there in the dictionary, like it will give us an error. Okay, so we have to check if t of I in hash map. Now if it is there, then what can we do? Then we can just minus the value, right? So hash map t of I minus equal to 1. Now else basically means like if it's not there in the hash map, which means that like the alphabet is not there in the first word as well. So we can just break, or we can just return false actually. Okay, because it is not there in the first word, the alphabet. Okay, now for lm in hash map dot value, so now we'll be looping through the values of the dictionary. Okay, let me scroll down a bit. Okay, now if hash map, or no, if lm is not equal to 0, then I can return false, else I can just return true, right? So yeah, that should basically be it. Let's run the code and let's see if it works. Invalid syntax. What happened here? Maybe, oh, it's a typo. Let me just fix this real quick. Okay, it should work now. Let's see. There you go, it works. Let's submit the code. And there you go. That's how you solve this problem. Hopefully you guys got the idea. If you have any doubts, do leave them in the comment section down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, alright? And that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.